Today, what I'm going to show you is this viral AI newsletter agent that can basically automate personalized newsletters in one single click. You can see an example right here where it's actually got links to my funnels, it promotes me, etc. I'll show you exactly how to personalize it today. So you'll also get the free NA10 template too. So if we click on execute workflow, for example, you can see it's now running the workflow using the step-by-step process. Really easy to set up. I'll show you exactly how later on in this video. And essentially what we've got here is a multi-agent workflow. For example, it's taking the titles and topics. It's doing a live web search with Tavily. I'll come on to that later. It's then writing each individual section of the newsletter. And then from here, it's actually going to have an editor AI agent that can edit down the content of the newsletter and then use that to send off and fire off our newsletter. So let me show you exactly how this works. If we go into NA10 over here, this is one that I actually tested a few minutes ago. We type in NA10 here, we can then click on this one and you can see an example of what we've created here. So this is the newsletter. It's all nicely formatted as well. So you can see how every sentence is on a new line. It's got like some nice sources here. And it's even got some links to my funnels. So for example, it says, want to make AI your advantage, explore how to automate and integrate AI tools effectively over here. Boom. We go on here, we've got our AI automation page, and we're sending traffic to our funnels using this automated newsletter. And this could just run like every single day if you wanted it to, right? You see how it's got the CTA under each section. Plus, when we're using this, it's super easy to set up step by step. So let me show you exactly how this works step by step. So essentially what we're using is Tavily. So the first step is to start the Tavily search, which is just a click trigger. And then we're going to edit the fields. Now inside here, you can change whatever you want inside the workflow. So you can change the search query, how it's working, etc. Whatever you talk about, right? So let's say, for example, I want to talk about SEO news, right? Maybe that's what I want to focus on for my SEO agency. And you can just tailor this to whatever industry you're in. So let's say, for example, you're in the AI space, where you would tailor the newsletter to AI. If you were in, for example, the SEO space, where you could tailor the news to SEO, right? Whatever your industry is, there's a newsletter you can create, right? And you could easily automate this across all your platforms. So if we click on execute workflows, it's actually going to focus on SEO news instead of AI news. And it's going to go off and start working its magic to start creating that. Ayla Art says, Mr. Julian, good to see you here. Steve says, thanks for all the great info. I am launching my first app tomorrow. Good luck to you, sir. That sounds awesome. And then Quantum AI gives a crazy emoji. So that's what we're talking about. All right. So let me guide you through this. Whilst this is editing, we've got our AI agents working in the background. We're then going to run a Tavily search, right? Now, in the meantime, let me just find that new newsletter we just created. It could take a minute or so to come through, but there we go. Boom. And this new newsletter is focused on SEO, right? So you can see how easy it is to change the topic just by editing that one single field. And by the way, if you want the JSON file to import directly here, go inside the Money Lab. So AI Money Lab, link in the comments description, scroll down, go to free NA10 automation templates. We have loads of cool stuff in here, but the one that we're focusing on today is the personalized newsletter template. And you can just grab the JSON file and import it directly into NA10 if you just want to steal this stuff from me. And credit to Nate Herc as well for the inspiration on this awesome workflow. From here, inside the Tably search section, which you can see over here, we've got a post. So this is a post HTTP request. We're going to go to the URL, which is the search API of Tavily, generic credential type, bearer auth, and then we've got our bearer auth account right here. So this is how you set up the credentials. Inside here, you're going to type in like bearer space and then your API key from Tavily. If you don't know how to do that, basically just go over to Tavily. And once you're in Tavily, you can log in, set up an account. I think they do have a free option as well, but I'm on the premium one just to make it easy for myself. And you can set up an API key over here. So you just click on plus, set up your API key. You can see I've not used this a lot, right? So only 36 requests out of 1,000 credits on the pay plan. You could probably get away with the free plan if you really wanted to. I'm not sure. But if not, just get the pay plan. Super easy and simple to use. And then basically this connects your AI agents to the web so that they can start searching through the web, collecting live news. Now, if we actually go back to this newsletter, let me show you an example. So this knows what date it is, right? So it's like, welcome to your latest AI SEO update for September the 2nd, 2025. it is September the 22nd, September the 2nd, 2025. And so when you're building out this workflow, it's going to scrape the latest news that's connected to the internet, right? So if we click on these, for example, is going to, for example, pull in the latest news. This is from August 2025. We have this one that was from the 1st of September. So you can actually pull in, for example, like tweets and that sort of thing. Yeah. And you can pull in the latest news from the web, essentially, when you're doing this, right? Now, if we scroll down here, we've got a send body inside here, and we'll select JSON, using JSON. And then inside this section, we've just got the JSON here. Now, you can change the max results. So you could say, okay, I want to scrape 10 results from the internet. You can have multiple results. You don't just need 3. This just makes it simple and easy. But this is an example as well. So you could have 5, you could have 10, however many number of news scrapes you want to use, you can. And then also look at the time range, right? So you see here, we've got the time range is 1 week. So 1 week from the current date. So if you wanted to have it like literally from today, then what you would do is you would change this to today, right? You're not going to look for the last week. So that's essentially how it goes. Jane says, so efficient. That's what we're all about. We're all about efficiency here. And so just to recap, post, URL, authentication with the bearer, send the body, JSON using JSON, and then we plug in this JSON right here. If you want to get all the JSON from the template, grab it inside the AI Money Lab, completely free. Bing, bang, bosh. There you go, my friend. All right, so now what we've got is a title and topic generator. And inside here, what we are doing is taking the latest news results, right? So we've got these news results, Sunday, 31st of August, Monday, 1st of September, 26th of August, published date, etc. We've got that news that was scraped from the internet, right? And so now what we need to do is come up with the topics. Now, you'll see here that we've got the topics over here. Now, you could change this, right? So you could go into N8N, because this is just a prompt, right? So this is a prompt. Let me pull this up full screen for you so you can see what I'm talking about. So inside the expression here, we've got you're a newsletter creator with a skill for creating engagement, blah, blah, blah. What we can actually do is we can go inside, for example, ChatGPT, and we could say, rewrite this so the topics are more clickbait and interesting, right? So if you want to change the style of the topics, you can using this process, and then you've got a rewritten section right here, right? So we could, for example, take that over here, plug this in, change the style over here, and then we can execute that step and just test it out. So now we've got much better titles, much more interesting titles, right? So viral SEO traffic surge, citation builder hits 2K, SEM giant rebrands, etc. That's a much more interesting sort of focus on the topics. And then inside here, we have the output, structured output parser. Okay? So what this does is it takes the output from the agent over here and uses a structured output parser to generate the topics. Now, when you're actually doing this step by step, so when you're using the AI models, I'm using 4.1 mini as an example. But what I'd actually recommend is if you want the best quality writing, use something like Claude. Claude 3.7 Sonnet is much better at writing than something like GPT 4.1 mini. You could use ChatGPT and other stuff like that as well. You've got other versions of ChatGPT, but essentially, if you want the best written newsletter, I would recommend using Claude. Just feels more human and sentient. Then from here, once we've got the titles and topics, we're going to spit that out, right? So it's going to output the topics. Let me show you an example, right? So it takes the topics here, pops them, and then it's going to do some more Tavily research. Here, we're now searching through Tavily again for those particular topics that we found, right? So it's taking the titles and topics, spitting them out, sending them to Tavily, doing more research on that. And then what you're going to see over here is we have the AI agent section writer. Okay. So we're using ChatGPT again inside this section, but honestly, I would recommend that you use Claude 3.7 Sonnet. This is just an example. And inside the section writer agent, we have the topics from previous and the research. All right. So let me show you how this works step by step. So if we go back over here, we are going to execute this step. All right. And so you see how it's scraped, for example, all these different sources now for the new information, right? So it's looked at Finance Yahoo, crime4.com, getpassionfruit.com, etc., right? All these new sources. And then it even gives it a score as well. Then what we can do is we can use that to write the script. So if we execute this step, this is going to start writing the script. Now, once that's loaded, let me show you how we've updated this. So we said third grade language, Alex Mosey style, keep it natural conversational language. You're a skilled newsletter writer. Your job is to write one section, blah, blah, blah. Start with a clear heading writing, write friendly, smart, etc. If you mention any stats, link to real sources, keep it short, easy to read, etc. Right. And so that's our prompt for writing the output. And then we've got the output over here. Right. Now, this is the raw script. And with the raw script, we're actually going to use an aggregate to output that. Right. So if we execute this step based on the raw script, basically what this is going to do is it's going to take the script writer and output that into 3 different topics, right? So that when we get the newsletter, like you can see over here, we've got 3 different topics inside our newsletter. We've got the viral SEO traffic, the citation building example, and the W3 era's new playbook. Okay. So we've executed that. That's spat that out into 3 different sections. And then we come on to our editor AI agent. So there's 3 different agents inside here. We have the title and topics, right? That's one AI agent. We've got the section writer agent that can like basically take that information and then use that to write the whole newsletter. And then finally, we have the editor AI agent, because let's be honest, a lot of the stuff that you're going to get from the first writer is going to be a little bit fluffier, a little bit trashy, etc. And so we're going to use the original content, edit it down with AI, and then send that off. Jeremy says, I watched so many videos of yours. Thanks for everything you do. Appreciate it. Appreciate you too, Jeremy. Thank you very much, sir. And that is awesome. I'm glad these videos are helping. We've now got the aggregate input, which is broken down with 3 topics. Then we're going to execute this step. And this is really where the nicer formatting comes in and that sort of thing, right? So we're taking the title and the sections over here. And then we've got the system prompt over here, right? So this is like the user message, and this is basically how the AI agent is programmed. So if we open this up full screen, let me show you how to personalize it to you and your business and who you are. So we say, right, format it beautifully. So every sentence is on the new line, no long paragraphs or walls of text, Alex Mosey style, write it as Julian Goldie, SEO expert. You could take a lot more information about me, right? So if we wanted to, for example, just get better outputs here, what we can do is we can take the information about us, or we could take ChatGPT. We could say, okay, research Julian Goldie and create a I don't know, a paragraph explaining who he is, etc. Right? And you can actually use that to create the prompt for NA10, right? So if you want to make this more personalized, but you don't want to write a long bio yourself, you can easily just take that information, like copy that, paste it into NA10, and then you've got that information. And then we can add the rest of the prompt in. So for example, I make sure you have a nice introduction, third grade language, natural, simple, break down these headlines, etc. Here's what you are, here's what you do, etc. And then if we escape off that, we'll execute the step, and that will just rewrite the content so that we have it ready to go for our email. And then for actually sending the email, you'll see here it came from this email address. I'll show you how to change that in a second. So if we go back to NA10 over here, so the subject and the content, right? So it basically figures out, okay, here's what the subject line is going to be. And then if we go over to Gmail, we'll send that email. Now, before we do that, let me show you the structured output parser as well. So this is using JSON schema to basically format the output, right? So we get like a big block of text from the AI agent, and then we use this process over here to basically format this into a subject, content, etc. Right, and see how it's formatted nicely there. So finally from here, we'll take the information like so, execute that step. We've got the JSON, the subject line, we've sent the email now. If we go back and we type in NA10, we'll just wait a second because sometimes it takes a minute or so to come through. Then we're going to plug in enter like so. We've got our NA10 newsletter, and boom, there we go. So here's the latest information from our workflow. If we just wanted to run the whole thing again, we can just execute the whole thing. But I just want to show you step by step how it works. And then some people will probably watch this and complain about the writing, but like I was saying, you could use Claude to create something much nicer in terms of the writing. I just want to show you how you can use multiple AI agents to edit the newsletter before you send it. And then that's going to fire off now in a second once OpenAI is done. And then that sent the message, right? Now, the other thing to note here is that you'll see we've got the Gmail account set up, right? So you can edit the Gmail account. It's really easy to change the email that you send from. So all you do is you go to connection, sign in with Google, and it's literally just like a one-click sign in. Message, send as the operation. To is the email address, subject line is the JSON output from the subject, and then the content itself is the message, right? So you take that content, you drag it in over there. Boom. So if we go over to edit now, we've got that new workflow. You've got all the sources that are scraped. And then, for example, here you see under this SAM powerhouse reborn, blah, blah, blah. You've got the, if you want an AI powered edge in SEM and SEO, see how automation can help. And then it sends people over to our funnel link, right? So you can drive traffic to our funnels. It's all personalized to us. And it takes all that information and uses it to create a nice optimized newsletter. So pretty easy and simple to do. You can change who you send it to as well. So you can feed in some information over here. And there you go. Cash Creator says, I learn a lot from you. I've not made any money, but I know how to automate things. Yeah, so if you really want to learn this stuff and how to use it in an actionable way, so we cover a lot of automations on YouTube, but if you want to learn how to really implement this into your business, join the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. We actually do weekly NA10 masterclasses here live, right? So you can jump on the weekly NA10 masterclasses here. And then we have 5 sessions a week where you can show up, ask questions, etc. And also inside the community here, you can post new questions. We actually have a big giveaway going on inside the AI Profit Boardroom as well. It's exclusive only to members. Additionally, you can see we have a bunch of courses. So all these different courses right here. And then, like I said, we have 5 weekly coaching sessions a week. And it's also the only place where I actually answer DMs and personally connect with people. So if you want to join me, feel free to join the AI Profit Boardroom and we can learn and grow together. And you can learn how to implement this stuff inside your business. So, for example, for me, all these systems right here, we actively use inside our business every day. So if you want to learn how to really scale and get more customers and leads, etc., then just check out the AI Profit Board. And that's basically it for the whole workflow. Like you can see, again, you can get it for free inside the AI Money Lab. So link in the comments description, go to the AI Money Lab, or just Google it if you can't find it. Go inside the classroom here, and then scroll down, go to NA10 automation templates, and boom shakalaka, you have this right here. We also have a bunch of other NA10 templates, like you can see. So for example, like yesterday, I created this podcast AI agent, which was pretty wild, to be fair. It's really cool. Yeah, and you can just get the JSON files right here, right? So for example, if you want to import a JSON, let me show you how to do it. So you just go to create workflow, go inside the Money Lab, click on the resources, download the JSON file like so. Then you're going to go over to NA10, click on import from file, boom, there you go. And then you can just plug in your details into each section. So if you want that for free inside the AI Money Lab, along with all this other stuff, right? So we've got, for example, like a nano banana, automation, a cold email agent, 1,000 NA10 templates, a Slack channel automator, outbound calls agent, and the podcast AI agent as well. Plus you get all these other trainings too. And then also we drop like daily trainings right here as well. So you can see here, we've got all these different trainings. So feel free to get that inside the AI Money Lab. And if you want help, if you want support, if you want coaching, then join the AI Profit Boardroom. All right. Finally, if you want us to just build this stuff for you and set up directly for you, then feel free to book in a free AI automation session. On that call, what we're going to do is look at your business, look at where you spend the most time, and then figure out, okay, what automations you need for your business and how can we set them up for you. So if you want to book in a call about that, feel free, even if your time is worth, let's say $100 to $500 an hour, and you free up a few hours a month, that will pay for itself. But you can actually, often we find like most of the clients we work with save about 100 hours a month based on what's working for me and my team. All right. So appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next one. Before we go, I just want to answer some Q&As inside the community here. So let's see what we got. So Paul was asking about a content marketing strategy prompt. I want to create a content marketing strategy prompt that will give ideas for social media for a particular niche. Anybody know of some good ones? Yeah, so there's some interesting ways you can do this. I mean, you could use just that part of the workflow I was talking about earlier. So just a Tably search right here. And also inside the AI Profit Boardroom, we have a Reddit bot that can search through the web and scrape information. So if we go to the classroom of the AI Profit Boardroom, NA10 templates, inside here, what is we have this Reddit bot that can scrape and find content marketing ideas based on just scraping the web, right? So you can look through, for example, different Reddit posts, you can look through the internet, you can look through Reddit, like you can see right here. And then it figures out, okay, what are people talking about? Again, that's inside the AI Profit Boardroom. You can get the JSON file right there. And then also, you could just go on to ChatGPT and ask it as well. So you can say, okay, what are the trending headlines directly inside my industry? The other thing that I use is, let me pull it up right here. I use Lindy as well. So Lindy is pretty cool. This gives me some good news headlines daily. Basically, inside here, it will give me all the content ideas that I'm going to create content around, right? So if we have a look, this is how I get my YouTube ideas. And the way that we do this is basically, I have a bot inside Lindy, and you can automate newsletters this way as well. So this is an easy way to do it if you want to learn how. So if we go to this AI agent, what this does is it uses Perplexity on autopilot. So every few hours, every 6 hours, it searches Perplexity for the latest information, the latest news headlines, and then sends me an email with the breakdown. Now, if you want that exact workflow, what you can do is if you go to SOPs and then scroll down to Lindy templates, you'll find the newsletter automation right here. I'm just going to paste that link. That's inside the AI Profit Boardroom. I'll fill that out properly later after the live stream, but essentially that's how you can get a good content marketing strategy prompt too. All right. And then Martien was asking about AI generated social media content. I've already answered that. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the latest Q&As. We answered a lot yesterday, so we're good to go on that. All right. Hope to see you inside the AI Profit Boardroom. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, peeps. Bye-bye.